dnešné podujatie pod taktovkou Atosu a preto by som veľmi rád na úvod pozval zástupcu spoločnosti Atos, aby vás pozdravil a pozývam Iva Kovačiča, obchodného riaditeľa pre komerčný sektor. Nech sa páči.
Dobrý deň, vítajte, tešíme sa, že ste prišli. Ja by som rád ospravedlnil môjho šéfa a kolegu Martina Súru. Nie je tu zo zdravotných dôvodov a určite by rád využil príležitosť hovoriť s vami. Tešíme sa, že po 2 rokoch korony ste tu, že sa konečne vidíme osobne, tvárou v tvár a nerobíme online stretnutie a verím, že si ho spoločne náležite užijeme. Každý rok, napriek tomu, že bola korona, mali sme online stretnutia, sme čelili výzve, ako postaviť program a témy. A možno by som to predsa len rád okomentoval, pretože za tie roky sme sa naučili, že aj keď máme medzi vami priateľov a fanúšikov technológií a pikošiek technologických, tak prezentácie a interakcia s vami nás naučila, že informácie sa dajú dohľadať na internete. Ale nájsť inšpiráciu, nájsť nové témy, podeliť sa o to, čo my ponúkame, čo vidíme my ako budúcnosť a počúvať vás, čo vás trápi, čo vás zaujíma a mať tú príležitosť, aby ste sa o to s nami podelili, to je niečo, čo nahradiť nevieme a preto ešte raz ďakujeme, že ste prišli. Neostáva mi nič iné, než popriať vám príjemné popoludne a dúfať, že vy načerpáte inšpiráciu a my od vás tipy, v čom vám môžeme pomôcť alebo čomu sa venovať do budúcnosti. Ďakujem pekne, príjemnú zábavu.
Isto aj vy počúvate každý deň okolo seba, že dnes žijeme dobu digitálnej transformácie. No vyzerá to tak, že asi o ten papier nakoniec predsa len prídeme, ale už keď máme niečo obetovať, tak nech to stojí za to. Nech tá doba digitálnej transformácie spojí viaceré technológie a už myslím, že sa to aj deje. Je to realitou. Nech spojí cloud computing s IoT a ešte viac s umelou inteligenciou. Ako hovorím, deje sa to. No a ako to vidí ďalší človek z Atosu a zároveň vám povie niečo aj o dnešnom programe, tak to sa dozviete už teraz a pozývam ho sem, pán Peter Balco, Solution Architect Atosu.
Ďakujem, pekné odpoludne všetkým. Digitálna transformácia. Možno začneme pedagogicky. Neexistuje definícia v súčasnosti. Tak ako diskutujeme dlho, čo je transformácia alebo 4. priemyselná revolúcia, čo všetko do toho zapadá, tak zisťujeme, že je to cloud computing, je to IoT, sú to veľké dáta a tak ďalej. To isté pomôžem si práve touto definíciou. Digitálna transformácia je kvalitatívna zmena spoločnosti, to si treba uvedomiť. A práve ktorá je podporovaná cloud computingom, digitálnymi riešeniami, umelou inteligenciou, IoT a tak ďalej. Kto to robí? Túto digitálnu transformáciu. Robíme ju my? Podľa takých informácií, ktoré máme, že nie. Robí to tzv. Digitálna generácia. Kto je digitálna generácia? Patríme k nej? Patríme, pomáhali sme, ale sú to naše deti, vnúčatá, ktoré jednoznačne a flexibilne vedia využiť a používať rôzne komunikačné zariadenia. A to je práve začiatok tej digitálnej transformácie. Zadefinovať si, čo budem používať? Všetci si spomenieme, že sme využili niekedy mobilný telefón na telefonovanie, ale dneska je to komunikačný nástroj pre rôzne typy služieb. A práve toto je, že prostredníctvom toho nástroja prechádzame k službám a meníme svoj život. A kde je ten úspech digitálnej transformácie? Opäť sa pýtame, sme to iba my, tí, ktorí dodávame tie technologické riešenia? Odpovede zase, pomôžem, nie. Všetko to závisí od našich klientov. Na jednej strane potrebujeme jednoznačne povedať, čo chceme dodať, na druhej strane musíme ich naučiť používať. Čiže aj digitálna transformácia vzdelávania je kľúčová preto, aby tá digitálna transformácia bola úspešná. A tá spolupráca 2 strán práve môže v budúcnosti poukázať na ten úspech. Aká je cesta a kde sa momentálne nachádzame? Asi na začiatku. Korona nám pomohla, ukázala nám, ako vieme transformovať školstvo, ako vieme digitalizovať vzdelávanie a verím, že postupne takýmto istým spôsobom budeme vedieť transformovať aj iné služby. V štátnej správe, v medicíne a podobne. Takže verím, že dnešné technologické fórum vám pomôže minimálne určitým spôsobom sa zorientovať v terminológii, respektíve nájdete správny kontakt, s ktorým sa budete chcieť rozprávať v budúcnosti, aby ste tú vašu transformáciu úspešne zvládli a možno takto o rok sa s ňou aj pochválili na ďalšom technologickom fóre. Takže prajem pekné odpoludne.
Ďakujeme pekne. No a poďme k tej hlavnej kľúčovej prezentácii. Vidíte tu na Olympijské hry. Naozaj sa budeme venovať Olympiáde. Atos bude partnerom, ak sa nemýlim, aj v roku 2024. A ja som rád, že dnes tu máme pána, ktorý aj na tie olympiády chodí a má na starosti niektoré tie veci v súvislosti s tým. A je to Ivara Willemse, ktorý vám viac povie v nasledujúcich minútach. Please.
If you would be watching the games and you see our logo on TV, it means we messed up. We messed up big. So we hope you never get to see our logo on TV, except on the lanyards. Also the official lanyards that you are wearing today, the Tokyo 2020 lanyards, that's where our logo is actually visible. But elsewhere, nowhere besides the website. So, about these games. I kept this slide in simply to be aware, okay, who's talking to you? Well, Atos, yeah, we know that already. But this is the company that actually is end-to-end responsible for the Olympic Games ever since the Games of Salt Lake City in 2002. We have been involved for over 30 years already since the Games in Barcelona in 1992. But then in 2001, we were awarded the contract by the IOC to become the IT integrator who's end-to-end responsible. And there's lots behind it. I mean, it's not just running a server, it's not just running a desktop, not just providing some kind of infrastructure. No, it's all about delivering the end-user experience, enabling the athletes to perform at best, like we need to perform at our best as well. Because we get no second chances during these Olympics. And there's loads of challenges. And every challenge, or every games, is a new challenge to us. I've been talking about the Olympics for quite some time now. And I've had people asking me, Ivara, what's the challenge? Isn't it easy? Every games you got people running, swimming, canoeing, skiing. It's the same everywhere. Yes, but it's a different location with different partners, different local partners, such as telecom providers, such as security partners, which means every time the game is another challenge to us. Again, I told you that we've been involved since 1992. How did these games evolve? We all started back in the era, 1992, with wired networks, kiosks where athletes could get some information, some weather predictions, some information about their competitors, because really important for athletes is to prepare themselves. They do the preparation years in advance, of course, but also during the games, what's very most important is for the athletes to have accessible data. And what I mean data is all data about all the athletes involved within the games. And once I had one of the athletes in the room and I said, is it true that you were actually be able to prepare yourself better for the game by having these details of your competitors? Yes, it was. But then he said it was also a perfect dating app because all personalized information about all the athletes was in there. But that kind of information was only available standalone during the time, 1992. And the moment we actually did the first games, 2002, Salt Lake City, you see the services actually got expanded, where we delivered critical games applications. What these are, I will tell you during my presentation. I will show you a bit about it. And today it has actually evolved into games where 5G needs to be implemented in Paris 2024. We're doing our first implementations of artificial intelligence to improve spectator experience. Spectators getting more and more important to us. Why is that? Serving the Olympic Games is serving like a big company with more than 200,000 employees, actually. Every athlete, every journalist, everyone involved in the games needs to be accredited. It's like an employee. And those locations, 43 locations, is not just the venues, it's also the Olympic Village which needs to be connected. And the challenge every time is, when we talk about Tokyo, it's not just Tokyo, it's also the Sea of Japan, where we have the sailors who are doing the sailing competitions. When we talked about Rio, for example, Rio de Janeiro, great. We had venues 800 kilometers away from Rio, but yet we're still talking about the Rio Games. We should have been talking about the Brazilian Games. And the same again applies to Paris later on. Where also on the North Sea, we will have venues which all need to be connected. And let's not forget about those 4 billion spectators at home, either watching TV or wanting to have real life results from whatever kind of device they're using at that moment in time. And I once tried myself following the games simultaneously on TV, the official website of the Olympic Games, and the official app. I tell you, it's undoable to do 3 things at once. But yes, information accessible from any device. The challenges, and this is something I would like to stick with for a bit longer, this slide. On the top, we see new environment every 2 years. I basically already said a little bit about it. Every 2 years, we have games. Winter games, summer games, winter games, summer games. And every time, contractually, we are obliged by the IOC to adapt the latest technologies as well. However, when I say adapt latest technologies, they have to be proven latest technologies, not to simply have a nice to have. No, it needs to be proven technology. On the right-hand side, we see on time. That's the most important one, I believe. We cannot call the president of the IOC, Thomas Bach, and say, excuse me, we're not ready to deliver. Can we postpone the games with 24 hours? Undoable. Needs to be on time and also on budget. Cybersecurity and risk, we see that on the right as well. I'll be talking about that even a bit more during the presentation, because I told you during previous slide, there's more than 200,000 people accredited during the games. Actually, it's 300,000 for Tokyo. But what does this mean, these accreditations that we hand out? We all know the piece of paper with the barcode on people's neck, but what kind of information is on it? I'll be talking a little bit about security about these accreditations. It needs to be on budget, of course. It's highly visible, yes. And when I say highly visible, again, we do not want our logo to be present in the screen for the spectators at home, unless we mess up. And on the left-hand side, we see cloud. Cloud back in the days was not common. 2014 was the first time we used virtualization technology, where we virtualized the servers of the IT infrastructure. After that, we started to implement in the cloud. What kind of impact did that have on the games? And then also, sustainability, very important one, becoming more and more important every year. Only by reintroducing virtualization technology for our servers, we already gained a certain amount of percentage of energy reduction. And every time, every games, we need to reduce that even more. Not only by making use of newest technologies, also by providing different options, different availability, accessibility to data for accredited people, like journalists. But I'll be getting to that more momentarily. What is new this year? I'm saying this year, it's actually in 2 years from now, 2024, but at Atos, we are already dealing with the Olympic Games of Paris since 2020. 4 years prior to the Games, we already start the planning and designing of the games. Now for this year, what is new, and that's where I come in, within Atos, I'm within the Smart Society Competence Center. Used to call it Smart City Competence Center, but it's more than a city. So we call it Smart Society. And within the Smart Society, we already have for years a solution called the Atos Urban Data Platform. Initially designed for cities, but nowadays also implemented within airports, universities, campuses, large chemical plants. It's basically a platform where you have an immediate insight of all your connected devices, all your IoT devices, sensors available in the city or campus. And that's something new that we will implement within the Olympic Village of Paris 2024. And now I'm moving back here, which I actually don't like, because I'll actually be using my PC to show you something around that Atos Urban Data Platform. IUC is a highly demanding customer, I can tell you. This is actually the solution that we will be implementing within the Olympic Village, the Atos Urban Data Platform. It is in the Atos look and feel, but of course it will be customized. It's available in any theme. In case of our clients, any usually city theme is implemented here. It's a global solution, available in any language, like we make use of certain languages in our demonstration environment. This is a demonstration environment, so I could put it in French, which of course we use when talking to French cities. We could even put it in non-Latin languages, have it instantaneously translated into Arabic. And if I would have prepared the session well enough, I would have asked one of my Slovakian colleagues to translate the entire environment and simply show it to you in Slovakia today, but I did not want to put that burden on my colleagues' chests. So today, and I'll be showing some things in a live environment. And the challenge when showing live things in a smart city is that I'm not in control when accidents take place. I'm not in control when a fire breaks out in a building. I would love to be in control of that, especially during demos, but unfortunately it's not the case. So we'll see what we run into. Fact is that within the Urban Data Platform, we have sensors and IoT devices implemented in the environment. We see them on the right-hand side. I like to call them the sensor registrar. For every city, in case of the Olympics, for the Olympic Village, you will have different kinds of sensors and IoT devices visible here. Everyone has got their specific needs. The Urban Data Platform is just like the Olympics. It's a platform designed for cities, a global solution, but no single implementation is the same because everyone's got their own needs and their own priorities. But one most common need is the monitoring of air quality. So when I have a look at current air quality in the world, we can make use of satellite readings, which is great, because the moment I select satellite readings, which is actually live satellite readings now made available through Mundi services, I get an accurate reading of air quality in the world. And if I would actually zoom into the environment, I can actually have detailed air quality index readings of a specific city or a street in a city. And it gets even more detailed the moment on the top right-hand side I say, select my local sensors. And the moment I select my local sensors, I will zoom into the area we're located at now, which is approximately right here, Zwolen. And what we see is we have an air quality index of 59. Which is, in terms of air quality, good. Anything between 0 and 50 is perfect. Between 50 and 100, it's getting a small issue when people have an underlying disease, such as COPD. And anything above 100, you want to take action upon. But this is still good. Now, I want to show you what we do the moment we reach a threshold and how the Atos Urban Data Platform, again, used in the Olympic Village will work together with other systems. So for that purpose, I need to go to the city of Bordeaux. That's something where we have things pre-configured. If we go to the city of Bordeaux, we see the ring of Bordeaux resembled over here. And if I have a look at current air quality readings, there's an air quality reading of 15 over here, air quality reading of 14 over here, which means perfect conditions. Luckily, in the past, we had a bad reading. We did nothing with that event, so I'm able to show you what happens in real life if we would actually automate this, because in real life, it is automated. For that purpose, I am moving to the ITS environment of the city of Bordeaux. It's the intelligent transport system. We can monitor traffic lights, we can monitor anything in the city here. And we see in the ring of Bordeaux, there's no single sign, no single mark. But if I move back to the Atos Urban Data Platform and I go to my rules, we will see that we have a rule-defined air quality saying anything with a value of 50 and above, we want to take action upon. This means if I go to my hypervision layer on the left-hand side, and before I put it on hidden on purpose, but now we see current alerts in my environment, and I go to this particular air quality alert in the city of Bordeaux, I can actually say, we're going to send an ITS alert to the environment. The moment I say run action, instantaneously, we see these blue pins appearing on the ring of Bordeaux. This is how these systems work together. This is one of the systems that we will actually make use of during the Olympic Games, again, in the Olympic Village. Not only for monitoring air quality, not only for monitoring traffic, it's also for monitoring smart buildings. For example, how do we manage crowds, crowd management? It's a main worry of the city of Paris, of any organizing city of the Olympic Games. For that purpose, we make use of one of Atos solutions, which is Ipsotech solution, where we monitor crowd management. We can actually monitor buildings by having a look at the 3D models, clicking on the sensors, what's happening at these locations. We see CCTV footage on this location, which is not live because I'm not allowed to show live video footage in Europe. But you can imagine that in this case, it is the Apple Store. The moment mass crowd movement takes place, we want to take immediate action and send an alert to a public answering safety point, making sure police, fire is dispatched to the location. So everything is actually controlled through the Atos Urban Data Platform here. And that's what will be new during the Olympic Games of 2024 in Paris. And yeah, here you see the people fleeing the Apple Store. Something is happening in real life. We would take action upon this, and you would actually see how it's solved. But back to my presentation. There's a challenge today, always my challenge, time. When showing the entire urban data platform, it would actually take me an hour. The entire Olympic story would take me over an hour. Our systems need to be ready, making sure that all data is publicized to the people in the world. And then another pop quiz. Does any one of you have any idea how fast we need to make sure the end result of an athlete needs to be visible on TV? And I'm telling you, we're not talking about minutes. The moment someone passes the finish line, you want to see it immediately. Is there anyone who thinks it's below 1 second? Yeah? Maybe more? Lower, I see lower. Indeed. Within 0.3 seconds, the result needs to be on display on TV. Not only on TV, no, data needs to be managed and made available at multiple places within those 0.3 seconds. Where, I will show you momentarily. Our recipe, what do we do? Well, basically what we see here is a representation of Atos services. These are not all Atos services, but for example, cloud. We do everything from the cloud. More on that a little bit further within the presentation. Critical games applications, very important for the Olympics. And there's the operations management. And that's a little bit where I want to zoom into next. And we do this with our partners. Today, during this event, you see HP, you see IBM, you see Red Hat. Those are partners as well. Like we deliver our solutions on a day-to-day business with our partners, same we do for the Olympics. For instance, the Atos Urban Data Platform, we deliver that using Red Hat OpenShift technology, something I did not mention before. But the same applies to the games. We do not do the timekeeping. Omega, they do the timekeeping. We simply make sure data is distributed and handled in a secure way, because everything needs to be secure. Weather providers, we are in continuous contact with weather providers. People accredited need to have live information to local weather forecasts. And again, I told you during my introduction, it's not just Paris 2024, no. Those 43 venues are all around France. So having simply local weather services for Paris is not sufficient enough. That's why cooperation with these kind of providers is really important. Broadcasting facilities, news providers, etc., etc. And then these accreditations I was telling about. Since I am Dutch, I'm always making use of my own example, my own Dutch example. We have a king and a queen. Some people in the Netherlands argue whether they're happy about it or not. I do not do any political statements, so I leave it in the middle. But fact is, these two people are always visiting the games. Out of those 300,000, these two people are accredited. This means these large pieces of paper on the lanyard contain their picture, their barcode. It says what venues they're allowed to enter, what kind of locations at the venue. And it's got more information on those passes, on those accreditations. The barcode, the moment it's scanned, it's got their personal information on there as well, such as their health situation. Our king, King Willem Alexander, he's got a lung disease. We Dutch know, but the paramedics in Paris, they do not know. The moment Willem Alexander would faint or something would happen to him, the right people need to have access to the right information at the right moment in time. And we need to make sure that that data is provided to the right people at the right time. So again, it does something with security, your inner security and your outer security. Because you can imagine how many people are trying to get access to that kind of specific data of all these accredited people. And it's not just personalized information. Actually, since, I believe, Rio 2016, the accreditation is also the visa to enter the country where the Olympics are hosted, which means we are in bi-directional contact with local authorities as well, or central governments who's providing the visas to all these accredited people. And now you can imagine what that does to security and how many people are trying to get access to that data. Well, we need to make sure it won't happen. And besides that, again, every games is a new challenge. It does not mean that every technology is being repeated at the next games. But what was new at Tokyo was facial recognition. In Europe, it's hard to imagine that we identify people based on facial recognition. But for Tokyo, it was a demand. So first time we made use of facial recognition. Proved to be working, everything was stable, no data breach, nothing happened whatsoever. We did this together with our partners as well. Is it being reused for Paris 2024? No, because of privacy regulations. But again, we see the new challenge coming back every 2 years. Now, what's happening at these venues? And after that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about security. So the moment an athlete passes the finish line, within those 0.3 seconds, the on-venue results need to be displayed. The results need to be displayed on the scoreboard at the venue. Apologies. Also, the commentator information system needs to be updated. I am sure also in Slovakia you have these great sports commentators who pretend to know every little detail, right? Sounds familiar, right? We got these annoying journalists in the Netherlands. Sometimes you're just like, they're pretending to know everything. But as a matter of fact, what they make use is a commentator information system. Simply a touchscreen where they're able to see all kinds of information about every athlete, event, venue, you name it. And besides that, there's another system called Info 2024 in case of Paris, where they have even more detailed information about the Olympic committees of each specific country, the history, etc., etc., etc. So those systems are updated as well the moment a sport athlete passes the finish line. Centrally, reports are still printed. Ivar, weren't you talking about sustainability? Yes. Printing, is that sustainable? My personal opinion says no, but it's still mandatory by the IOC. The referees, game officials need to physically sign the results on physical documents. So that's done the moment an athlete passes the finish line. And also the internet websites, the official app is updated. And that's what I was trying to tell before. Once I was watching the games and I was thinking, hey, Ivar, the story you're telling, is it actually true? I mean, I know it's true, but I wanted to see for myself. So I had my TV on, next to me my laptop, and also my tablet, everything with the official app or website opened. And I tried to see whether everything was updated within 0.3 seconds. Well, you cannot see that with the naked eye. It all happened in one blink, that's for sure. And besides that, what we have since a few years now, also the remote commentator information system. So by delivering the games from the cloud nowadays, not only because of that, it becomes more sustainable and greener. No, we are also providing nowadays the remote commentator information system. In the past, journalists, they had to fly in to the local city where the venue is located to be able to do the comments on the sports. Nowadays, they can be sitting at home or at the offices. As long as they're accredited, they can get access to the remote commentator information system as well, and that's why, hence, that needs to be updated. Now, there's another question I have, and I'm sure that you do not know the answer. So, whatever kind of number you're mentioning here, don't be afraid to get it wrong. I just want to see who's closest to the actual number. The Tokyo 2020 Games take 17 days, 17. How many security-related events do you think we detect in total during the Games of Tokyo 2020? Sorry?
I think
Thousands. I'm saying think big, as in millions. That's one small hint I'm giving you. 17? Think big. 70. Think big. Ma'am? 100? 200? Oh, we're getting closer now. We're getting closer. Sorry, who was saying that? 350. Anyone daring to go higher than 350? No internal colleagues allowed for answering this question. Ma'am, 300 million, you said. 350, sorry, yes? You were close, but you were closest. 570 million security-related event that we detected during Tokyo 2020. Zero impact on the games. When you calculate this, it comes up to 400 events per second during these games. And a good question is, Atos, what do you consider a security-related event? Answer is very easy. It may be someone entering the wrong password at the PC. It's a security-related event. Someone trying to open a door where they got no access to is a security-related event. Do we want to take action on those kind of events? No. But if I would try to open 10 doors in 1 minute time, yes, we probably would like to take action. Or if someone tries to enter the password 25 times in 1 minute. So this is where data analytics comes in. One of these solutions that we implement by default during the games. And after analyzing all data, there's about 90 security-related events every day where our technology information center needs to dig into. And then we come up to 25, 30 hacking attempts every day during the games. And when I say hacking attempts, it's people trying to get access to serious data, like the Dutch king and queen that I was referring to. But sometimes you have these funny people, and they try to get their names as a #1 athlete for the TV spectators at home, or at the scoreboard of the venue. Yes, really, I mean, it's happening. Imagine Ivara trying to hack, having my name visible to 100 meters. I don't think so. But some people want that, and they try. So yeah, big impact, security. What is new since actually Pyongyang 2018? In the past, we would have one big technology operations center locally in the city where the games was hosted. But then we started to build the Information Technology Lab in Madrid, Technology Operations Center in Barcelona, and a local Technology Operations Center in the city where the venue was located. So in case of Tokyo, a small Technology Operations Center in Tokyo, and our main one in Barcelona with a backup to Madrid. And this was also enabled because since 2018, we're making use of the cloud for the delivery of the games. And the same, yes, of course, applied to China. So when Tokyo 2020 was still happening in 2021, which was another challenge, by the way, because of COVID, we were already implementing the Technology Operations Center in China as well. And now with regards to those games, and I'm thinking moving quite fast in terms of timing here, but I guess we're okay with that. The IT delivery, what's behind it? 4 years prior to the games, we already start implementing. Well, implementing, planning and design phase of these games start about 4 years ahead of these games. And then design, the build, test, and operate phase. But the test phase is something that really I would like to zoom into. When I say testing, again, every time we're dealing with new technology partners, such as telco providers, those systems need to be tested. But also the people delivering the games, the IT specialists, they need to be trained. And when I say trained, I do not only mean technology-wise, but also mentally wise. How do you act upon terrorist threats? This seemed to be far away, 20 years. What do you mean, terrorist attacks or threats? No, nowadays, it's serious business. So when I'm talking about 200,000 hours of testing, it includes training personnel. How do you act upon food poisoning? How do you act upon kidnapping? There is people willing to pay serious money to get that data in their hands, willing to kidnap families for that, to make sure that the IT guy or the IT woman provides that secure data. So training of these people is immense. We do that by making use of actors. We never told the story before, and I didn't know. I'm very honest here. I'm not pretending to know everything. Apparently, we had something planned in case of a pandemic. I never knew before. But because of that, we were able to take action when Tokyo 2020 was changed to Tokyo 21 with different prerequisites from the government. I mean, those accreditations were not valid anymore. People had to be COVID vaccinated. Suddenly systems had to be changed. Well, that's all because of the design and the build phase, the plan, design, build phase, where we tackled that. But apparently, it's also part of daily business within delivering the games. We succeeded, luckily. And then the operation part, that's most important, because when we operate well, it means no single logo of Atos is present for the spectators at home. Yeah, we start, by the way, of course, with a team of 0 people in the beginning, and at the end, we have 3,500 IT staff working during the Olympic Games. And when I say the Olympic Games, I'm talking about summer games, because during the winter games is 2,000. Actually, it's visible on this slide. This slide says 3,500. That's the total amount of number for the summer games. And then there's 2,000 during the winter games. This includes the people in the local technology operations center in Barcelona, by the way, but also the ones physically at site. And the presentation with this slide, when I think and I look at our colleagues, it made us even more proud to be working for this company, to be able to accomplish new challenges during these games or before the games by adapting quickly, ensuring and to enable these games flawlessly again in 2021, where it was planned in 2020, and we did it with success. And what we tell our clients, actually, if we can do it for the IOC, if we can do it for the games, why couldn't we for our clients? And this is in terms of the presentation where I'd like to leave it, but with one final remark. Because someone may have seen it, or some people, this is actually the official Olympic torch of Tokyo 2020. If you would like to, during the day today, feel free to pick it up. Don't take it home with you. If you take it home with you, no worries. I will get your address within seconds because there's a GPS tracker on it. But feel free to have your picture taken, to take your own picture, selfie, or whatsoever with the Olympic torch. Before you're asking, is this the only one? No, it's not the only Olympic torch available. There's like 10 Olympic torches of the Olympic Games. This is one of them. It has been disabled, so we cannot set it on fire anymore, which is good because you do not want to have me play with fire. But hey, have your picture taken, have fun. It's the original one. It is made of aluminium, recycled aluminium. And for Paris, obviously, there will be a new one again. So in case there's no more questions, I would like to say thank you, and hopefully you have a fruitful day.